Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at popcorn episode number 7, where we're looking at 3 popcorns that have very tiny kernels. And you pop them. So this is Amish Country Baby White. It's very small. And our second one is Baby White Rice Popcorn from Fireworks Popcorn. It's also white and tiny. You can see in the overhead here. In a second, and we also have a Ladyfinger from Amish Country, which is a yellow popcorn, but also very tiny. So the overhead camera will show that they're all tiny little kernels. And they popped up to different volumes, which is kind of interesting. I thought they'd be small on the volume side. This one, Amish Country, Baby White, popped up pretty big in the popper. Same volume as some of the other gourmet things. So pretty interesting. So we're gonna nose and taste and find out what they're like. But before I dive in and get oily fingers, I'm gonna ask you to like this video, leave questions and comments down below, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. So I don't often go out looking for exotic popcorns or gourmet popcorns. I usually just buy whatever's in the store. Oh, tipped over. Because I don't put that much time or effort into selecting it. But I'm finding out a few things in this series that will make me be pickier in the future. But we have popped all these under the same conditions. 90 grams of popcorn, 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, 1/4 teaspoon of salt after they're all popped and done and aired out and de-steamed. And it's a fine, flaky sea salt, so it's very small particles that stick well to the popcorn. I don't see any salt falling off into the bags after I'm popping. Wow, so this has a nice, corny smell. Amish Country Baby White. Nice corny smell, with a little bit of the cooked oil note that I often get with grapeseed oil. So, wow, it's more corn than I usually get. So that's interesting. I'm going to like that. I love corn. Have I mentioned that? And now in the Fireworks Baby White Rice. Ooh, it's much more neutral. Not a lot of cooked oil. Not a lot of corn. Not a lot of rice. Or I don't know why they name it that way. It might just be a baby white. Fireworks always has extra words in their name to make it sound fancier or more specialized or a different species. Vaguely corny. And the whites often don't have much aroma or flavor compared to yellows. So, moving on to Amish Country Ladyfinger, which is a very small kernel, but yellow. So in the overhead, I think you can see the difference between the 2 whites and this yellow one, because it looks yellow. And on the nose, I'm getting what? Also kind of neutral. Nope, I'm not getting a lot on the nose. Not much of the cooked oil note, but it's there. Very faintly. And you can't say I get a popcorn aroma. So, I'm done throwing the bowls around and smelling them, so I can put my popcorn displays back, and I will just move right on into Amish Country Baby White. And again, even though there's small kernels and small popped kernels, it really blew up bigger than either of these two in the popper. Well salted, just right amount, I would say. Wow, there's a fairly corny flavor for being a white. An oily mouthfeel, I'm sure, from the oil that I cooked it in, but maybe even a hint of a buttery note. And it's never been near butter. Grapeseed oil, this popcorn, and salt. That's all that's in here. little corny, a little buttery. Way more corny than most whites, and maybe more corny than some yellows. So Amish country is coming out and impressing me every once in a while on things where I'm not expecting anything special. This one's really pretty good. If I was going to change anything, I'd probably cut back on the salt. 10 or 20%. That's just good. I like that. It's corny, it's bright. It's a big flavor for a small kernel. So this is not going the way I expected it, as usual. That's why we're doing the experiments. Now, fireworks, baby. White rice. Popcorn from a 10-pack. It's a sampler pack that had all different kinds. Actually, only 4, 5, 6 kinds of varieties, and the rest were blends. So this seems to be one of the fundamental kinds of baby white, which I'm thinking is going to be much like this, but we will see. Good level of salt. Tender kernels without a lot of hulls or hull appearances. But mostly what I'm tasting is salt. There's less of an oily mouthfeel and less of a corn flavor. It's just a salty snack. It's more neutral in its flavor. So, not a strong corn flavor, but nothing wrong with it either unless you're looking for corn, like I usually am. So, not stellar, but not a big flaw either. Tasty, tender, hullless, and in practice. So, decent and good, but I'm going to move on. And with my left hand, I'm bringing up Amish country Ladyfinger to my mouth. It is salty. It is very slightly corny. Let me analyze this. Flavor is going in a little different direction than these whites. It's not as strong of a popcorn flavor. A corn flavor is this, and more corn flavor than this. Can't get anything else. Might even be a buttery nut, which is a little surprising. This is tasty, salty, very tender kernels. I'm not coming across hulls like a lot of yellows have. These baby kernels tend to act like they're hullless. So I'd say it's second place in terms of corniness and flavor. And the mouthfeel is oily, slightly buttery on the flavor. Slightly buttery notes. So good. And not the big, strong corn flavors of my favorite yellows. So nothing really wrong with it, no flaws. But I'd be looking for a little more flavor. And then the kernel is very small, so there's a lot of management or handling, or you've got 20 in your hand instead of 5 or 6 of some big fluffy thing. So again, no flaws, but not a standout to my taste buds. Moving back through to fireworks. Last one. It is more neutral. Salt. Very faint corn. Very faint. So again, no real flaws, no real hulls, and no strong flavors. So that is confirmed. And now back to my apparent favorite, which is the Baby White from Amish country. Too big of a bite, Doug. Stronger flavor. It's a cornier flavor. Still has hints of butter. And the aroma or the flavor or both. So it gives the impression of some buttered popcorn. Very good for a white. And again, basically hulless in the mouth. So they all popped well. Very few unpopped kernels and nothing scorched and burned. I have my technique down pretty well. But the best ones have really interesting flavors, interesting aromas. And this one's no exception. I'm fascinated by the buttery note that's here, and I want to see if it pops up again. So I think that will do for this episode of tiny baby little kernels. So next time I think we're going to be looking at vegetable oils and how they add flavors or flavor the popcorn in their own directions. So come back for that. And cheers. Pop till you drop.